It's an interesting chat. Loads of texts on whether 15 years should be the limit for MPs. Actually, Max Bradford, former National MP, was listening and has given us a quick buzz. G'day, Max.
Hello, Max.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Great.
Good, thank you.
Now, please forgive our ignorance, Max. How long did you serve?
I was in for 12 years, 9 of them as an electorate MP and 3 as a list MP.
Right.
Right, okay.
And what I don't know if you heard Chris Finlayson this morning, but what do you think of his suggestion that there really should be a compulsory sabbatical at the end of 15?
Well, I wouldn't call it a sabbatical. I would say you should, unless you become Prime Minister from an electorate seat, I don't think you should serve longer than 9 years, frankly.
Wow.
If you haven't made a mark on Parliament and served the interests of your electorate within 9 years, then you don't deserve to be there, and I don't think the public deserves to see you there, particularly if you're a list MP.
Right.
Interesting.
But the one thing that hasn't been discussed, and which I think is frankly more of a problem now, particularly under MMP, is really the sort of people who get into Parliament and how they get there. Half the House is basically appointed by the political parties, and more often than not, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you come from, more often than not, they're party apparatchiks.
Right.
The other thing is we're supposed to have a representative parliamentary democracy, which means basically our members of Parliament ought to be a mixture of people who come from all walks of life. Now, if you look at the makeup of parliaments over the last few years, there's been a predominance of people who have come from either inside their party organisations or from fringe organisations that really are politically driven rather than driven by, the needs of ordinary people. So we've moved away from, I think, a parliamentary type democracy to one which is driven more by political machines.
Yeah, I mean, Max,
And that's not really very healthy for
No.
democracy.
what you're basically saying, Max, is we are getting people who, for want of a better phrase, are basically professional politicians that have been nothing else from the time they were in their late teens almost. Would that be fair to say?
I think it's a fair criticism, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean everyone, but some of them are. Yeah.
Sorry?
I don't mean everyone, but some of them are.
No, that's true. And, the one thing about electorate MPs is that they are, by and large, more accountable to the people in their own electorate than they are to their party machine. And that's really very healthy. I mean, I did both.
Yes.
I hated the 3 years I had as a list MP because you were accountable and you saw your future lying only with the party machine and how well you served that rather than the people on the ground in your electorate.
So why were you worried about a by-election? Why didn't you stand down if you loathed it, Max?
When I lost it?
Yeah.
I wanted to, but I was inveigled by my leader at the time to continue on because she felt that we needed experience, people who had experience to be in the new smaller National Party after we lost the election in 1999.
Yes,
and there's some virtue in that, in the argument, but it wasn't, frankly, a very happy experience.
No, and I mean, once you'd served that term as a list MP, that was it for you in my memory, Mix, is that right?
Oh, absolutely. I'd made the decision and announced it that I was going to retire.
Very good.
Well, very nice to talk to you.
And that's essentially what Nick Smith has done, actually. I personally think he was there for far too long, just as people like Trevor Mallard and Murray McCulley and a hell of a lot of other long-serving MPs were.
Yeah.
30 years is far too long. You've lost your zest and almost your will to live.
Yeah. That's what I was speculating. Yeah, Max, really nice to talk to you. Thanks for phoning up.
Thanks very much.
Not at all.
Go well.